Welcome to the official Bernando Lapallo Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Erika Chamberlain, Bernando's oldest grandchild and manager for all aspects of Bernando's legacy. Bernando Lapallo enjoyed a long and healthy life, living free of any chronic diseases, until the day he died at the age of 114 in Tempe, Arizona on December 19, 2015. Born the son of a doctor and herbalist in Victoria, Brazil on August 17, 1901, he had 4 different careers. As a 5-star chef, in the healing arts, he worked as a massage therapist, reflexologist, and podiatrist, a natural health consultant, and, in his hundreds, as an author and lecturer on the keys to his health and longevity. Bernando studied at La Sorbonne for the culinary arts in the 1920s, the Swedish Institute of Massage, and NYU in his 70s, the Robert Finance School of Hair and Makeup in his 80s, and as an herbologist well into his 90s. Noted for his smooth skin, dapper sartorial style, soothing voice, and sharp memory, he was a family man, the oldest living Yankees fan, and the oldest living Brazilian in the state of Arizona. Sought out by people from around the globe, he touched thousands of lives through radio, TV, and personal appearances, inspiring both young and old to add more life to their years instead of just years to their life. Listen, share, and be inspired. I conducted a series of interviews with people who had met and interacted with Bernando after he passed the century mark, so they could share the impact Bernando had had on their lives. In this edition of the podcast, I spoke with Mark Sterkowisz, who met Bernando in 2010 when he was 109 years of age. Mark had been seeking to change his lifestyle after being diagnosed with arthritis in his spine and his hips. Originally from Wisconsin, eating what he called the standard American diet, he found in Bernando a role model and a friend he could emulate. If I could paraphrase this podcast, I'd call it Bernando Taught Me.
I am Mark Sterkowisz, and I am so happy that I got to be good friends with Bernando. But I met Bernando when I was 54. I was born in Wisconsin, born and raised in Wisconsin, and always was in the Midwest. Ventured out driving a semi-truck all over the country, but I'd always go back to Wisconsin. And I had to do something different in the winters because the effects of the cold and the dampness was just so intense on. I was diagnosed with arthritis in my spine. And then I thought, well, I stopped through Phoenix coming back from Hawaii, and it was nice here in the middle of winter. And rather than go over to Hawaii for the winters, I thought, this is wide open spaces over here.
How did you meet Bernando?
Well, I read about him in the local newspaper right here in Apache Junction, that he was going to be appearing and speaking at the Multi-Gen Center for the Health and Wellness event. That first winter I was here.
So you thought to yourself,
gosh, I got to see this guy, see what makes him tick. I got to know, I have to know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there at the appointed time that he did his speech. And Cornelius was with him, helped him write that book, and they were selling his book. And I stood in line after he got done speaking and waited my turn so I could shake his hand and say hi and introduce myself and get a book and have it signed. And he actually invited me to talk to him sometime.
What was your impression when you actually saw Bernando face to face for the first time at that lecture?
He didn't look like he was a day over 68 or 70 or something. He just looked in his stature. It was unbelievable this guy could be in such good shape. So I knew right then and there, hey, I could learn from this guy. I could really learn what exactly it's going to take to live a long and healthy life.
What impact did Bernando have on your life?
Well, going along with the so-called standard American diet, trying to be healthy as I could, And not knowing any better about carbohydrates, I never studied about carbohydrates. I didn't know anything about calories, didn't really care too much about it. But after Bernando invited me to come over and I had the opportunity to pick his brain about he has in his diet, what exactly he avoids out of his diet, here's my opportunity to learn.
Mm-hmm. You had mentioned to me that you had a specific health issue which motivated you to move to Arizona and which set up that fateful meeting with Bernando. Could you tell us what health issues you had been struggling with?
Well, the main one was the arthritis in my spine. They call it ankylosing spondylitis. I set off on a path of any kind of alternative, any which way possible, of getting rid of it. Because when I was diagnosed with it, my initial reaction was no, I can't. It can't be happening to me, this thing. So the medication, it was like a relief, but it gave me ulcers. So it wasn't very long. I was recommended to do yoga, and that just started the whole transition in my life to change my diet and not have dairy products no more. Like was such a staple in Wisconsin, everybody eats a lot of cheese. And I hauled cheese in a semi, and I'd have cheese for lunch, breakfast, supper. And had no idea that's the detrimental effects of having too much dairy. And all the basics of my diet was just like wrong because it was like white potatoes and meat and cheese. And without even trying, I lost 40 some pounds and I feel great. The arthritis is gone from my hips and my spine and all that stuff because Bernando taught me what's worked for him to keep him in perfect shape. Never been sick a day in his life. He taught me. He was so kind and generous with his information, how he took time. And then one time I came back from Wisconsin. This was really interesting. I come back from Wisconsin. Of course, I got to check in with Bernando right away. He's got this water machine. Hey, this is great. I don't have to go to the store and get water no more because everybody buys their water out here. All right, you just hook it up to the tap. I got to have one of these. And then got involved with chauffeuring him around to all the Kangen water meetings all over the valley, and it was a lot of fun and quite an experience. Met a lot of folks, and it's all about health and wellness. So it was just a real good fit. I could chauffeur him around because I like to do that. It's kind of like my job.
It seems like everyone's got at least one, what I like to call Bernando story. Do you have perhaps a funny anecdote or maybe an exchange that you had with him that touched you in particular? Or just something funny?
Well, we traveled around quite a bit, going to the water meetings and so forth. And then there was other things. I'd bring him out here to Apache Junction because he liked it out here because of the clean air, and I'd take him to the market and stuff. But this one time we had to go to this water meeting, and I didn't have no GPS. All I got is an old-fashioned map to go by. We started at the wrong end of Indian School Road trying to find this location. We ended up seeing quite a bit of the city. It was a lot of fun. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed every minute of it. He said he had a nice adventure seeing that much of the city. We got there late, but it was okay. It was a lot of fun. Oh, I could go on and on. Let me make some notes. I'll get back to you.
Mark explained to me how he began to practice a change in lifestyle by doing simple activities like chopping fruits and vegetables.
Now it was a whole new concept to go get these raw fruits, clean and chop everything up. It was like, oh, this takes too much time. It takes too much time, But I stuck with it because it worked for Bernando and it could work for me. So in time, it took probably a month before I just routinely started get my fruit and my veggies and stuff and clean and chop everything up, blend it, and lo and behold, it took as much time as making a hamburger. But I was having something healthy instead of something not so healthy, and it was wonderful. And thanks to Bernando for all that. It's like Bernando would always instruct, you just got to do it. It's just that simple. He says most people don't. They can talk about it and read about it. They just got to do it. And the reward being just feeling good, and it expands your mental capabilities. It's just everything just clicks the way we was intended to. My life has been so dramatically changed just knowing this guy. As time goes on, I'll make notes and I'll share them with you. Some of the lessons passed on to me from him. I mean, he was my health and wellness guru, and I decided that the day I met him, I was going to check this guy out and learn, and yeah, amazing experience.
We hope you enjoyed the official Bernando LaPalo Legacy Podcast, produced by his granddaughter, Erika Chamberlain. You can find Bernando's books, videos, Facebook page, and legacy news by visiting www.agelesslivemorestore.com.